So here we have my Phantom Knights deck profile. What I'm going to do is go card to card and explain why it's there, starting with Maxi, a card that needs no explanation, but I'm going to explain it anyway. Phantom Knights is a high-risk, high-reward deck. It's got a lot of cool effects and combos. Boss monsters are an absolute menace. It hits, and it hits hard. However, it has some consistency issues, and it's got a couple choke points that your opponent can really take advantage of with hand traps like Ash Blossom and Nibiru. Those two can completely wreck your Phantom Knights board, especially if your opponent knows when to use them. Maxi kind of helps even those two issues out, as it can be hand trap bait as well as getting cards to your hand. Kagamucha is your main extender. You want to see this in your opening hand because he can special summon from the hand when you normal summon a level 3, and that's pretty neat. Graph is here mostly just to get Seer from your deck. You would want to send this off of your Cherubini to then get your Seer onto the field to go into your Rusty. So we play 2 of those. Seer brings back Cherubini from the graveyard. I added this card originally as an emergency teleport target. But Ghost Ogre is actually just a really good hand trap in general. If your opponent has a face-up card that's giving you issues, Ghost Ogre destroys it when it activates its effects. Ancient Cloak is your main Phantom Knights extender, being able to banish himself from the graveyard to add a Phantom Knights monster from your deck to your hand. So usually grabbing your Silent Boots or your Stained Greaves. Speaking of Silent Boots, this little guy special summons himself from the hand when you control another Phantom Knights monster, so he's another extender. He also has a really good effect where he banishes himself from the graveyard to add a Phantom Knights spell or trap, that being the rank up spell if you need it, or probably your Fog Blades or whatever you might need in your situation. But he banishes to grab a spell or trap from deck. We play 2 copies of Ragged Gloves, just for the graveyard extension. This deck loves playing out of the graveyard. It lives and dies by the graveyard effects. Ragged Gloves just kind of facilitates that as being a special summon from grave target, or adding a card that I want from the deck, because it has the ability to banish itself to send to the graveyard a Phantom Knights card. So I can send a monster if I need a monster in the graveyard, or I can send one of the traps into the graveyard if I need to. So I play 2 copies of him. Ash Blossom, because Ash Blossom. I play Psychic Wielder and Psychic Tracker. These 2 are, of course, emergency teleport targets, being psychic monsters as well as hand extenders, because they can special summon themselves from the hand if I control another level 3. So these are just really, really easy ways to extend my plays. I play a single copy of Stained Greaves. He can special summon himself from the hand when another Phantom Knights card is special summoned. And when he does so, he increases his level to 4. So you want to partner this card with your Shade Brigandine to go into your your rank 4 monsters. Or you could elect not to increase its level, keep it at a level 3, and use it to go into your rank 3s, or just link it off. But he also has a pretty cool effect. He can banish himself from the graveyard to special summon another Phantom Knights monster from your hand and increase its level. So if you need a level 4, you can get a level 4. We then have Torrent Scales, probably the best Phantom Knights monster in the deck. His shtick is he discards a card, sends another card from your deck. So this can definitely be a 2-for-1 if you really want it to be, or if you're lucky enough to have the proper cards in hand. You can get 2 cards into the graveyard, which, like I said before, this card loves playing out of the graveyard, so that is fantastic for this deck. He can also special summon himself from the graveyard when another Phantom Knights card is banished. Seeing as how they all banish themselves to activate their effects, it's really easy to get him back onto the field for round 2, if you will. Harpy's Feather Duster for back row removal, can only play 1, so that's there. Emergency Teleport is a really good extender, being able to search from deck. Your level 3s, it can also get your Ghost Ogre, like I mentioned earlier. And Twin Twisters for the discard potential as well as back row removal. Phantom Knights rank up. I just play 1 copy of this because I only play 1 Requiem, and that's all this thing does. It takes a rank 4 monster and makes it a rank 5. We play 1 copy of Phantom Knights Wing. Personally, I mostly use it for its ability from Graveyard to banish itself and special summon a Phantom Knights monster. So this is just another extender. Shade Brigandine is a really good extender because you can go into your rank 4s or any of your Link monsters, so he's a pretty neat little one of. Phantom Knight's Fogblade, in my opinion, the best card in the deck. Activate it, target a monster your opponent controls. They can't do anything with it anymore. The only drawback is you can't attack that monster equipped with this card, but that isn't really an issue with Phantom Knights just because of how many ways you have to destroy or otherwise get rid of that monster besides just attacking into it. So Phantom Knights is just, or Fogblade is just a great way to stop your opponent in their tracks. And then I play a single copy of Phantom Knight's Sword. Not only does it have that effect as does Fogblade, it has the effect to banish itself from the graveyard to special summon a Phantom Knights monster. Also, when it's on the field, it can add 800 attack. So I like to pair this with my Appaloosa to give my Appaloosa an extra negate. So we play a single copy of Sword. I have the F-Zero package, just something to go into because there's no DPE or Dragoon. 2 copies of Leviair the Sea Dragon. This card, as I've mentioned, you banish quite a bit, so this card kind of helps recur some of those banished Phantom Knight monsters that we love ever so much. Breaksword is really cool. So he has an effect where he can he can destroy a card you control as well as a card your opponent controls. He can indeed target himself, and that's what you're going to find yourself doing most often with this card is destroying himself, because when he is destroyed by a card effect, he can special summon 2 Phantom Knights monsters and increase their levels. So the Breaksword is a fantastic way to go into your rank 4 monsters if you find yourself in that situation, or if anything, worst case scenario, just great card removal. Requiem has the effect of negating your opponent's monster effects, and it's not a once per turn, so you can do it multiple times. The catch is you have to have Dark Rebellion, Xyz, Dragon as material to be able to use these effects. So that's why we play the Rebellion with the rank up. We play Raider's Knight to go into your Arc Rebellion. Arc Rebellion being the second turn dragon monster you want to go into, this being your walking OTK, having the ability to permanently add the attack of all other monsters on the field as well as negating their effects. This thing finished people off, and it does it very well. You go into him with Raider's Knight. Raider's Knight is really cool, just because he's an easy way to get into the rank 5s without the need of the spell card. But he is also treated as a Phantom Knights card, so he can be a target for Fogblade, Wing, or Sword from the graveyard. So that's a really cool thing that I don't see a lot of people talk about. Moving on to the Link monsters, we have Cherubini. This is your main way to get into Rusty. You want to summon Cherubini onto the field with 2 level 3 monsters. You want to send your Graph from the grave to be able to special summon your Seer, then Link climb into your Rusty. However, if you want, you can also send any other rank level 3 monster you have in the deck. If you need another Phantom Knights monster in the deck, you can send them off of Cherubini. So we have Nightmare Unicorn. The Link monster I go into before Access Code Talker, just to get an extra card off of my opponent's field, as well as the good discard potential. Same as I mentioned earlier with Twin Twister. If I'm lucky enough to have the proper cards in hand, being able to discard them and get them into the grave to go into bigger plays is always nice. Rusty Bardiche has the effect of sending a Phantom Knights monster from your deck to the graveyard, as well as setting a Phantom Knight spell or trap from the deck to the field. So getting 2 cards by summoning this one into the graveyard, which is what you really want anyway, who needs to add them to the hand, as well as getting your Fogblade onto the field for your opponent's turn. It's just absolutely outstanding. We then have Appaloosa. and access code. Appaloosa being the monster you want to use when you're going first. The access code being your main finisher. Appaloosa being able to negate your opponent's monster effects and doing it multiple times in a turn can really ruin a lot of people's days and a lot of people's YuGiOh experiences. And then access code talker is your big boss finisher, being able to not only gain the attack of a link monster you use to summon it, so he can get to be pretty big and beefy. But he also has a effect to pop your opponent's cards, and your opponent can't respond to either of these effects. So he kind of opens up a lot of chain blocking opportunities, as well as just being an overall destructive powerhouse of a monster. But anyways, that is the Phantom Knights deck profile. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you understand. Any questions, just put a comment down below. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that fun stuff. And I'll see y'all later.